Yeah, so good afternoon again, everyone. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. My name is Scott Melin. It's Melin. I'm Todd's attorney, and I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Todd Blitstein. Last name is B as in boy, L-I, T as in Tom, S, T as in Tom, E-I-N, and I am Peyton's father.
So very quickly, Todd's here to talk with you all about his son, to honor Peyton, and talk about what he's going through as a bereaved parent. We're not here to talk about the investigation, and I won't let him answer questions about that, and we appreciate you not asking. So, Todd, can tell us how you're feeling. And if you all have questions, please.
So, like any parent in this situation, you know, you're lost. You don't know what you could have done different to have such a different outcome. You want to be there at the scene. You want to be there just before to prevent anything from happening. And the fact is that nothing's going to change that. So you just hope that, you know, you can get the right information out so that people know who he actually was and what he was all about. So, and Peyton was an unbelievable person. You know, he was into the military, loved the military, wanted to be in the Air Force. Started off in the Sea Cadets when he was young. Loved doing all their missions, going out to Watkins with the Air Force and flying a plane and going up to the mountains and doing their special operations and training with retired Air Force colonels. And he loved family. He loved everything that he was doing. He loved. The biggest thing was when it came to Grandma and Peyton time, he loved staying home and watching Hallmark Channel and Murder, She Wrote and all these different shows. And, you know, I love to battle him back and forth on new school music and old school music. He would show me, you know, some of the new music, and I'd say, no, this is regular music. This is real music. And then I'd show him, he'd show me rap, I'd show him LL Cool J. He would show me more rap, and I'd show him like Vanilla Ice. And he's like, no, Dad, you don't know what you're doing these days. So we'd just go back and forth. Or, you know, the biggest thing was when we'd go somewhere, he'd always want to go somewhere where there's mozzarella sticks. Loved them, you know. We'd send crazy TikToks back and forth with each other. And he's just somebody that loved society, loved people, wanted to be around people and be happy. You know, these events that happened in these last shootings with these kids that just went through the whole courts and all that stuff, he was very, very upset by them. He took a lot of interest in, you know, the Aubrey case and the other ones because he wanted to be involved, and he was so against racism and so against any kind of negativity in the public that he wanted to take all sorts of interest in him and see what he can do to change things. And, you know, he's got a English bulldog that he's like, that's my dog. And of course the dog couldn't sit on him because it's half his weight, but he loved everything. He was a great kid. I don't know, and I don't know what happened that night. Don't know why things went down the way they did, but I know with what I've seen, they didn't have to. So.
Talk to us about, this is your boy. He's a young boy. He's only 17. Talk to us about that and getting a call with, like, what you got. What was that like?
So when I went to sleep Wednesday night, and, you know, me and Peyton and my parents and his girlfriend Janice and my brother, we were all planning to meet up on Thanksgiving Day, and we're going to do dinner and Dutch Blitz and hang out. And I remember getting up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom. And when I went to the restroom, I looked at my phone, and it said in Murphy Creek, where I live, it said there's a shooting. And I said, oh, okay, whatever. And being the location of the house, there has been that in the past, and the police have come up and they've asked us questions. Hey, did you hear anything? Did you see anything? I have cameras on my house, and they've asked to see the cameras. And so just as I'm looking at that, my doorbell rang at like 4:30. I said, that's weird. Doorbell rings. I looked on the camera, and I was like, okay, it's the police. They just want to see what's going on. When I opened the door, he says, are you Todd, are you Mark? I said, no, I'm Todd. He's like, are you Peyton's, I said, father? And he says, can we come inside and talk? I said, sure. I said, is he in trouble? He's like, well, not really. But we got something that we need to talk to you about. I said, is he all right? And he said, no. And that's what I asked him. And he said, yeah, he's gone. So, you know, and of course, you go into defense mode and you want to know what, when, where, why, who. And that's when I wanted to know where my boy was and to get after him. He's my 17-year-old, and, you know, he needed me, and I wanted to know where he was at. But they wouldn't give me any information, just said that they did tell me he was at Parker and Venice, but it was pointless to come up there because it's now part of a major investigation. And I just, you know, everything starts flashing back in your head, like, when was the last time I talked to him? What did I say? How's the conversation? You know, because you never want to be in that situation where you have the last time you saw him was an argument, or this last time you saw him, you didn't say I love you. But the good thing is that wasn't the case. We were joking around. I did say I love you, and he was only supposed to go out for a half an hour and come back. But I'm already missing those times of the road trips and the debating, or, you know, which candy is better. You know, you got Starburst or Snickers or whatever, and those times are gone.
I'm sure it was difficult to decide to watch that video, but first of all, what made you decide that you needed to see this, and what was your reaction to that without, of course, jeopardizing the investigation?
So when I was first notified about everything, of course, your mind goes to all sorts of different scenarios, and there's so many stories out there of what has happened, what hasn't happened. So my impression of what happened was the story I got was completely wrong. So when I did see the video, I wanted to see the video of kind of the base of what happened, but I stopped it at the when is actually just after it started. I didn't want to see my boy fall on the ground. I didn't want to hear the sound. So it was unnecessary. I have my opinions and my thoughts, and, you know, I don't want to hinder any investigation, but I want the truth to come out, and whatever the ruling is from the DA's office or the police or whoever, I want the situation to be handled to the fullest extent. We as a society, and with everything that's going on, we need to make sure that when it's to the fullest extent, whoever the perpetrator is or whatever is not out there to do it again. And it prevents other kids from being hurt. We don't need these kids dead. We need them as our future. We need to bring them up right so they are, you know, stable, and they are happy, and they do want to do the right things. And that's exactly what Peyton was. He always wanted to do the right thing.
Are you hoping to see charges filed in this case? Are you surprised they haven't been?
I'm hoping that whatever the ruling is that they do it, like I said, to the fullest extent. If there are charges, then yes. If there's not, then I need to look at, you know, how else to handle the situation, such as, you know, talking to Peyton, you know, going through the therapy and figuring out why. So.
Who does he leave behind? Who are his other family members? Obviously, he had a lot of friends as well, but
He had a lot of friends. I mean, his main people that he was involved with was my mom, Linda, my dad, Mark, me, Jeff, his brother, Jacob, his girlfriend, Janice, his best friend, Taco, everybody that he was so close to, you know, and that he wanted to spend every amount of his free time with.
two brothers, one brother?
One brother. So his grandmother is Mark, grandmother's Linda, grandfather's Mark, his uncle's Jeff, and Jacob's his brother.
How old's Jacob?
He's 26. So, and everybody in the family's taking it hard.
And you got that call Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah, they showed up at 4:30 on Thanksgiving. And I can tell you that there'll never be another Thanksgiving the same, you know, as the one previous. You know, it's not gonna be a good day. I mean, it's gonna be thankful that, you know, we're all here and Peyton is able to be with us wherever we go, but it won't be the same.